What's up, internet fam? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, hello, my name is Ren, and I make LGBTQ lifestyle videos for you guys. So if that type of content interests you, then hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my videos. All right, guys, so we are back with another chaotic L word recap. So in the beginning of this episode, I was kind of getting a little bit kind of bored, but the ending just made up like 1,000 times for it, so all good. So let's just go ahead and get into episode 8. First off, we have my two besties, my favorites, Shane and Tess. So Tess went out of town to Las Vegas again for her mother, and Shane went to Alice's like book signing opening party by herself. And everybody was kind of like, oh, you know, where's Tess? I think this was gonna be like when she was gonna finally like introduce her to everyone as like her partner slash girlfriend, whatever she wants to call her. And she wasn't there, so she was bummed. So I guess she decided that she was gonna go to Las Vegas and go get Tess and go be there for her and help her. And I was like, because at first I was thinking like, oh crap, Tess is in Las Vegas, we might not see her this episode. I was gutted, I was bummed, but they proved me wrong and they showed her, you know, talking on the phone to Shane, and then Shane like knocks on the door and she's telling her like that she wants to be there for her as like a team, as being partners and to be there for her. And I was like, and she said like she was not, you know, she was kind of like, it was scary for her, you know, to say those things. And, you know, Tess just goes in for the kiss, and I was so excited because we finally got this Tess and Shane love scene. I was just, loved it. And Shane never, you know, fails to show her boobies, and I'm just, I loved it. It was mwah, impeccable. I am hardcore Shane and Tess. I probably watched their scene probably 5 times already, but just don't tell anyone. Next we have Gigi and Danny. So it starts off, you know, with Danny showing Bet, like telling her, you know, how much she you know, cares for her and all of this, and then shows her the Nunez like wing or whatever to the CAC, and Bet was furious. I mean, just like you could see the steam coming out of her ears. She was livid. But yeah, so I don't think it went the way Danny wanted it to go. So sorry, Danny. So she runs straight into Gigi, and she's basically like, F Bet Porter, let's make out. Let's get it on. Let's go. So we got another great Gigi and Danny scene. I really like them together as well. I'm all for them. So basically, you know, after the little session, I guess Danny gets a call from her dad talking about, you know, the CAC and how things are going wrong because of Bet Porter or whatever. And Gigi's kind of like wanting her to like not go deal with it. She's kind of like canoodling her and like wanting her to like, you know, just be like all over her. And I'm just like, she's gotta go. Like, she's gotta go do her job, you know, like you have your job, she has her job, you know, you gotta do it. But yeah, she's like, are you never gonna say no to your dad? And I think that just like rubbed Danny the wrong way, and they just kind of had like a little tiff, and she left. So, you know, Danny's with her dad, you know, trying to figure out the whole thing with Bet, because, you know, Bet's livid and she's gonna cause everyone to just, you know, just everything to go wrong because she's angry and she wants her way always. Also don't care. But the relationship's going sour. So she goes and she brings food to, you know, Gigi to like apologize about being snappy, and told her that she stood up to her dad and that, you know, all of that. And yeah, they reconciled, and yeah, so I'm liking them together. So we'll see, you know, what continues with them, but I'm on board for them. Next we have Bet, and she, you know, she jeopardizes, you know, Pippa's art. You know, and Pippa basically told her, like, I can't go through this again, and, you know, I'm trusting you. And Bet's like, yeah, don't worry, like, I got you, don't worry. And I'm like, that's Bet, you know, that's Bet. And what does she do? She jeopardizes Pippa's art thing. When she goes to the CAC and threatens to pull Pippa because she doesn't like the whole Nunez thing, right? She's furious. And I mean, I don't blame her, right? She specifically told Bet, and Bet just like didn't seem to even just thinking about herself, like always, you know? I'm really not liking Bet this season. I'm sorry. I'm just really not. I mean, yeah, I'm just not liking her. And it's unfortunate because Bet used to be like my number one. Like I love Bet the most out of everybody. And it's kind of just like this, you know, the Gen Q has just kind of like made me not like her so much. So can we bring Tina back? Maybe Tina is like makes her nicer. I don't know. I'm just not feeling Bet. So to fix her mistake, since Pippa's not answering any of her calls, she goes to like the CSE dude or whatever who's like outside, and she's like, listen, I'm apologizing. I made a mistake. I need you to fix this. Like, I believe in her work. I believe in Pippa's work so much. Like, I need to fix this. And Pippa was just so happened was like a couple feet away and heard everything. So she goes to bed and they have like a little chit chat about it, you know, and I guess Pippa, you know, really believes that, you know, Bet she means well, and that she would never purposely like jeopardize, you know, Pippa. So they, you know, have a hug, have a smooch. They're back on, problem momentarily solved with Bet and Pippa. Next we have Alice. You know, her book's done, she's excited. Sorry, I have a cat hair. Always, never fails when I'm shooting a video, never fails. So Alice is, you know, at her book signing and Tom shows up and she's like, crap, Tom's here, and they're like, he edited your book, like duh. And she's like, yeah, well, you know, I haven't told Tom about Nat. And she's, you know, talking to Bet, and Bet's like, you need to tell him or you cannot tell him. I'm on your side, whatever. But Alice decides, you know, when Tom comes over with, you know, the book, for her to sign it, and there's a key card in there, a hotel room, and he's like ready to, you know, get it on with her again and really like start something with her. I think Alice was like, oh crap, like I have to be honest and I have to tell him the truth. So she tells him about her sleeping with Nat. Then he wants to indulge a little bit more, and she mentions that it was multiple times, and I think that really just was like the last straw for Tom, and he was just like thanks. You gotta tell me this right before I go on stage. Awesome. So he goes on stage to like deliver his little speech for her. Really good speech, even though he was really upset with her. Like, props to him. I don't know if I could have done it. I think I would be like crying on the stage or whatever, but yeah. Then she has to go on stage and she's talking, and yeah, Tom's just like, I'm out. So Alice is, you know, devastated. She's up there. She, you know, gives her beautiful like Dana thing. I know that there was like a tribute to her, but I was like, it was a little too long. I was over it. I'm not gonna lie. Sorry. But yeah. And then she's like, I gotta go get Tom. So she takes the key, goes to Tom, and, you know, explains to him, like, this is different for me, you know, haven't been with the dude in a long time, like, you know, I really like you and I really wanna, you know, try something with you. And so they also make up. So I was like, okay, so everybody's making up, everybody's cool. Good for them. Next we have Micah. There's this new lady named Claudia. She just appeared out of nowhere. She's like a psychiatrist, I'm guessing, like, so she does like medication and stuff, and Micah was not happy about something she did, so he kind of barges in and lets her know it, and she's like, I could care less what you think. So yeah, he leaves, but as she was leaving, he's like, hey, hold up, you know, I'm you know, I made a mistake, you know, blah, 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 blah. This is just personal to me. And he wants to take her to dinner, and she's like, well, can you cook? And he's like, yeah. So she comes over to his house, and I'm like, okay, I guess he's like forgetting Maribel, and I'm feeling like, you know, as he's cooking and they're talking, like I'm feeling some chemistry. I'm feeling like something's gonna happen, and it does. They kiss, right? And then all of a sudden, Micah's like, I like me, like I'm like somebody else, and she's like, how convenient that like you know that right when we're making out. Like, cool, thanks. So another prime example of not crapping where you work, but he didn't catch that memo either. Neither did Bet, and neither did Alice, and neither did nobody. Oh my God, nobody's understanding this saying that you're not supposed to do that, because they're all doing it. But yeah, so now he's gonna have issues with her, I'm sure, at the work. Who knows, maybe, I don't know. She just randomly showed up, maybe she's randomly gonna disappear. But he calls Mirabelle over and tells her that, you know, he loves her, they kiss, they're back together and they're good. Lastly, we have Sophia and Finley. So yeah, Finley in the last episode, you know, got pulled over. Well, she gets a DUI, and Sophia's not very happy. You know, she's picking her up from, you know, the prison or the jail, wherever she's at. The jail, most likely, not prison. I don't know why I said that. The jail, and Finley's kind of just making like a ton of jokes about it. And I'm like, it's not a joking matter. Like, that's kind of like serious to some people. Like, to me, that'd be like very serious. And to Sophie, it's kind of serious. And she's kind of like, you told me you were good, but like, you weren't. And now you owe all this money and you gotta do all this stuff, and you're just kind of being really nonchalant about it, right? So they go to the book signing, and Finley's drinking again, and Sophie does not seem to like it. She does not like it at all that she's drinking. And she's like, well, I got an Uber, like we got a Lyft, like what's the big deal? Like I'm not driving. But, you know, Finley doesn't see the big deal of it, and Sophie sees a giant deal out of this. So she's like, I'm leaving. And then Sophie's kind of like, stay. And she's like, nah, I'm out. And eventually Finley goes back to the house, and like Sophie really doesn't want her in her bed. She's like, I need like space. Like I'm not feeling it right now. And so Finley's like pissed. So she just like leaves the house and walks off. So next morning Sophie wakes up and she's looking all over for her and she can't find her. So they're kind of on the outs right now. So everybody kind of like reconciles their issues and their relationships besides Sophie and Finley. So I don't know. They're a hot mess. They're my least favorite couple, pretty much. So I could care less, honestly. I'm just kidding. I mean, they're just. I'm not too invested. So like I said, if I'm not invested, I don't care too much. So we'll see what happens with them. I'm not too worried if they stay together or not. But all in all, I'm so excited about what's happening with Tess and Shane and Gigi and Danny. So I'm excited definitely to see the last, I think it's 2 episodes. Yep, the last 2 episodes now, and see what's going on. The season is flown by so fast, and I'm gonna be so sad when it's over. But yeah, I've enjoyed this episode, and let me know down below what you thought. Are you excited about Tess and Shane and Dani and Gigi? What are you thinking? Are you liking it? Are you not liking it? Who do you just like to know what you guys think. And yeah, with that being said, I guess that's the end of this little video, this little recap. So I will see you next week with episode 9. So see you next week. Mwah.